Hello fellow YouTubers and welcome back to Disabled DM. I'm GrimmDark, and this video will be a review of a supplement done by a point of inspiration called GrimmDark, a book of fairy tales. It's written by Marquis Hartis and Chelsea Dabbs. And it's available on the website pointofinspiration.com for free. This PDF is 44 pages long, very well written, easy to understand and follow along. One of the things that caught my attention is the artwork in this PDF supplement is phenomenal. I would pay for it just for the artwork alone, much less the content. And before I really get into what's in the PDF itself, one of the big impacts it had on me was the fact that as a child I remember my mom telling me fairy tales. And I thought about my sessions and my campaigns that I run, and my setting, how there isn't any real stories told to the kids. I kind of leave that a blank slate for players to say, yeah, I heard of this in a story as a kid. And I realized that was something I've been lacking. And so it really made me stop and think about what kind of stories would be told in a D&D setting, and to the youth and the kids. And there's some very good content in the supplement itself. They begin out kind of defining what a fairy tale is and how you could use it in a session, such as having your players' characters be sucked into a fairy tale. And they give a chart of different ways you could tell that a fairy tale has begun. And some of these are gangs of children begin to sing weird songs in the streets, dancing in circles, and just different things that really fit kind of the fairy tale theme. Then they go into a location called the Madcap Inn and Tavern, which is very interesting. They give several NPCs, including stats. And I thought all of these were well crafted, well done. And they give a bit of backstory of each character. And this theme continues throughout the supplement, in which they introduce 3 different cursed queens that you can use. And some of the abilities are really awesome, but they're high level. Excuse me. Such as summoning char guards. The artwork's phenomenal, stats and everything's really nice. But these are obviously the big bad monsters at the end of a session or a campaign. Which makes sense because they are fake creatures, and fake creatures are meant to be hard and tricky. They also include castles for these queens, reactions, and a lot of information on the backstories of these people. Along with some DM notes that I find are really useful. After they introduce the NPCs and these queens, they introduce some creatures from fairy tales, such as the Jabberwocky from Alice as in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass. I like that they kept to the mythology of fey creatures and fairies being really susceptible to stuff made of pure iron. To give it kind of that realistic feel that comes when you follow a mythology that people know. They also include some lower fey creatures such as gremlins and hollow beasts, nymphs, which is all really nice. They go into some of the warlocks packs with fey creatures, such as a familiar called a tooth fairy, which sounds silly at first until you actually look at the art and read what it is and what it does, and it really becomes this familiar that's suitable for a warlock. They then go into character options such as Feyborn, which is really neat. It's because the way they do it is it's not an entirely unique race. It's a variant of one of the common races that has been twisted by the Feywild. So, for example, a Feyborn could be an elf, but instead of some of the elf traits, you would take Feyborn traits, which they list out, and they tell you how many normal racial features you have to give up to take this Feyborn trait. And there's some really nice ones that can make characters really unique. They do the same for sirens, and they include some things like College of Hysteria for bird, or Order of the Huntsman for rangers, which is really nice. And they continue this all the way through the PDF. They have some really nice tables that make it easy to pick your personality traits, ideals, bonds, flaws, and the options are well suited to the type of character that they're suggesting. Then they go into a section of magical items. This has to do with when a character believes they're in a fairy tale or is actually part of a fairy tale, they have an item. And some of these are like a cursed and poisonous comb, an enchanted storybook, a golden egg. Typical items you find in real fairy tales. But they give them unique abilities that are well suited for an RPG. So this actually ends the supplement, is the list of these items, and there's maybe a dozen different items. Overall, I thought the supplement was very well done. The artwork is phenomenal. It's easy to follow along. It's actually a very interesting read, even if I was never going to use it. I would get it just to read it, because it's interesting and it made me think. So, with that being said, would I ever use this PDF in a campaign or a session? Probably not in a campaign, unless the campaign specifically revolved around being in a fairy tale. For one-shots, I would definitely use it. Would I allow players to use some of the options in it for their characters, such as the background of being in storybound with the character acts and thinks he's in a fairy tale? Yeah, I would use it because it gives a unique twist as to the characters. So with that being said, I thought it was very well done. Definitely worth checking out, especially with it being free. There's no reason not to. But it's worth even paying for it, just for the artwork alone, and the content is just as high standard as the artwork. So I thought it was a phenomenal job done by Marquis, Hartis, and Chelsea Dabbs, and I look forward to seeing more of their work in the near future. So with that being said, may the dice always roll in your favor.